The leader of the Democrats' impeachment inquiry, House Intel Chair Adam Schiff, now saying there's overwhelming evidence that President Trump committed wrongdoing. But he wasn't so direct when asked if he will vote to impeach the president.
I want to discuss this with my constituents and my colleagues before I make a final judgment on it. But there are a couple really important things we need to think about. The case in terms of the Ukraine misconduct is ironclad. But so is the case of the president's obstruction of the Congress.
This, as an op-ed writer in the New York Post says, Democrats have unintentionally united Republicans around President Trump, allowing him to run again as an outsider, despite 3 years in the White House, and calling the, quote, impeachment fiasco a gift from Democrats to the president. Kennedy, there are a lot of good points in that article. They say that, for one, Democrats have been misled by the media, cheering Adam Schiff's cunning every day, while the rest of America, if you look at independents, in opposition to impeaching President Trump, that number leapt from 37 to 47 over the first week of hearings. So independents saying, no.
And those are the people that Democrats have to be very, very mindful of, because the election will rest on them. And I don't think they're doing as much damage to the president as they think they are. And again, there is this coalescing factor. And we've talked about it here a bunch of times. And the risk is, if you bring everyone together and you're only trying to politically wound the president, yet not kill his political life, you run the risk of a fierce backlash. And I do think, I said it in an earlier block, you could see a president who is impeached and reelected. Part of that is because he is going to make the case. I have had 2 arms and a leg tied behind my back, very kinky, but still have been able to deliver economically in spite of this torrent, this nonstop onslaught.
Jessica, so one interesting thing that I've heard at least 20 times from people who don't necessarily like the president is, well, he's getting impeached, so he can't possibly get reelected. And they don't even know who's running on the Democratic side, because they're just disengaging because they think he's been taken care of.
Yeah, so I would put it above 50% odds that the president gets reelected. And I know everybody who's running for the Democratic nomination, and I live and breathe this stuff. It is really hard to unseat a sitting president going for a second term, especially if the economic indicators are good. And what's happening right now, and I am in favor of impeaching the president because I do believe the case is ironclad, but this is exactly what people were asking Nancy Pelosi about when she was taking her time in bringing forward the inquiry. Is this going to be a political mess for Democrats in the end? And she ended up saying, we need to move forward because we serve the Constitution above all else, and it's worth losing the House. Now, there are a ton of Democrats across the country who are in those districts that could actually lose, who are maybe saying right now, look at this, the Wisconsin numbers from Marquette were terrible on impeachment for independents, and nationally as well. I mean, the margin went from 22% support in independents down to 11, and that's just in a week. You need to be really careful about this if we don't want to lose the House. I doubt we're going to get the Senate. I mean, we need one lever of power going into 2020.
Chris, is it a mess?
I mean, it's a republic. It's always a little messy. People say we're in a constitutional crisis. I say,
we're in
a constitution. This is what it looks like. This is, as little Mr. Madison told us, ambition must be made to counteract ambition. So it's all good. I wonder with Schiff, I find interesting, is censure on the table? Yeah. Because the real political coup for Nancy Pelosi would be if she could get her conference to swallow the idea of dropping impeachment and bringing forward a vote to censure the president. That would be a political goldmine. It would be, they would kill with that, force a lot of Republicans into some very difficult votes, reasons, right? And let her people off the hook.
It doesn't look wimpy?
I mean, look.
What do voters take away from that? In the most simple terms, what do they take away from that?
The same thing they did with Bill Clinton, which is the president did something wrong. It doesn't rise to the level of removing him from office.
Like impeachment means something to everybody.
Well, they both
and that's
mean
a very
something,
big thing.
but to most people, and that was the point that I was making over the last few weeks, when you poll impeachment along with removal from office, that's when you see the almost complete split in the nation right now down party lines, because people thought thought, well, impeach, doesn't that mean removal? Oh, wait, there's a split hair? Well, then we might say yes on part and no on the other. So then you started to see a convergence of the two things.
I haven't seen it yet, but I guarantee you, if you were to poll, what do you think about censuring the president? I'm sure that would be at 2/3 of the country.
Well, that would be the 70% who say that he did something wrong.
Right.
Those people can be consistent, and then it does put Republicans like Will Hurd, who you thought might have been someone who would leave the president on this.
It gives something to Nancy Pelosi, too, because she can say, well, we chose to do it this way because Republicans in the Senate wouldn't have allowed this to go forward.
So we
stopgapped it right here. The president gets... And so what happens to him? He gets a little asterisk by his name.
With Andrew Jackson.
Right. I mean...
All right.